Ever since the announcement of Xenoblade 1 DE, there's been a lot of discussion over whether or not the series would get another Definitive Edition game. And then, out of nowhere, Xenoblade X DE got announced, and the question became, not if we would get another, but when. The obvious next contender for Monolith's remaster treatment is Xenoblade 2. There's always the looming possibility of the Saga remakes, and maybe those would be definitive editions, but I think Xenoblade 2 is more than likely going to happen in the long term. I've been discussing this topic with a lot of people recently, and it made me want to put all of my thoughts into a video. Before we get into the video, guys, I just want to say, if you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and it would mean the world to me if you could help me achieve that goal. Subscribing goes a really long way, and it allows me to make even more videos for you all. I have a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and a number of videos basically done already, so I'm going to have a very consistent upload schedule this summer. Most recently, I uploaded a video about Xenosaga Pied Piper, which was considered lost media for almost 2 decades, but just a couple of months ago, it was recovered and now it's fully playable. So if you like lost media stories, even if you're not really a Xenosaga fan, I still think you'll enjoy the video. It is Xenoblade related after all. Anyway, with that, let's get into the video. I think it's important to establish my thoughts on Xenoblade 2 itself before diving into this topic. To put it simply, yes, I think it's a good game and I love it dearly. And also, yes, I think it lacks a ton of polish and feels unfinished in certain areas. If they had just a few more months of development time to really perfect everything instead of being forced to get this out in the Switch's launch year, I think opinions on Xenoblade 2 would be very different. I understand why people have issues with the gameplay, and my hope is that these changes would overall make the experience more enjoyable for potential newcomers and gamers willing to give the game a second chance. Let's get the easy stuff out of the way. Include Torn of the Golden Country and all other downloadable content with the base game. So that means challenge mode, all the DLC blades, outfits, and hell, you know what? All the bonus items too. 25 legendary cores at the beginning of the game, a bunch of ether crystals to get started on Poppy, some free pouch items. Sign me up. Maybe we have to do a quest to earn them, but these items really do help more casual players get through the early game. An expanded story might be pushing it though. The other 2 DEs did have one, so it's not far-fetched to ask. Personally, I think the story content is fine where it is, and we really just need gameplay improvements. A couple of new quests, maybe even let us play with some of the blades we're missing in Base 2. Minoth, Jin, Haze, Malos if they're crazy. Let me use another Aegis, damn it. If they want to be really cool, they could just let us use Volm's, Dougal's blade. God, that would be so funny. Most fans of the series know that common blades can be really strong. On a first playthrough though, normal people are not gonna know that. Many of them see the super unique rare ones and assume that the generic common ones are bad. And let's be real for a second. Tell me that it doesn't feel bad opening 10 core crystals in a row and just getting a bunch of lame common blades. I want something cool. So to fix this, just increase the drop rate of all rare blades by 100%. This way, it's a little bit easier to pull them, but not so easy that it doesn't feel special when you get one. The point of the gacha system is to make each playthrough feel different, so to that end, I think, along with fixing the broken pity table, that they double the number of pity groups to 10. While we're at it, I'll just say what everyone is thinking. Field skills suck. I don't think they should be removed entirely, however. So I have a solution that I think is a happy medium. Instead of having to fiddle around in the menu every single time a skill prompt appears, just make it so as long as you've awakened a blade, it counts towards the level. In exchange, the non-unique skill requirements can be slightly increased to make it a thing you still have to work towards, but not so annoying that it constantly halts progress. Okay, we all knew this was coming. The tutorials are not the best. Most of them just need to be rewritten for clarity's sake. Along with this, I kind of hope that they make chain attack available earlier. It's not until midway through chapter 3 that you get it, and I think it would be much better if they let you have it for the Morag fight in chapter 2, or maybe even Dougal. After all, you've finally gotten 3 permanent party members at that point, and it would be a nice way to make you feel more powerful. A common complaint with Xenoblade 2's combat is that it feels too slow. I don't mean slow in the sense that it takes a long time to kill enemies, although in Chapter 2 it can feel a little sluggish. I mean that you feel physically slow. At base affinity level, Rex feels like he's lugging a 2-ton weight around. Like, good lord, this thing is slow. It just feels bad. Of course, when you get to max affinity, he moves as smooth as butter, but the lowest level shouldn't feel like garbage. I think that they should increase the base movement speed in combat by 20 to 25%. Not super fast, but not this slow either. Also, can we have more storage space for pouch items? I don't know why it's like this. Please just let me purchase 99 Narzapear jelly and let me be on my way. Thank you. Alright, this is the most important part of the video to me, and it probably shows with the overall runtime of this section. It may not be this way with other people, but in video games, a good menu drastically impacts my enjoyment of the game, even more so with RPGs. I love when it's just satisfying to open a menu and scroll through options. Good UI design is integral, and Xenoblade 2 just doesn't have it. Health bars also don't have the characters' faces next to them. I really liked when 1 and 3 did it. It makes things a lot easier to see in your peripheral vision. The pause menu has absolutely no sauce at all. Not to say that I'm a huge fan of the white void they shoved into 1DE, but 2's menu isn't much better. There's this massive amount of unused space, and then when you select one of the options, you have a ton more sub-menus to go through. I understand the layout of everything now, after having like 4 playthroughs under my belt, but on the first go-around, I had no idea what I was doing. What makes things even worse is how slow and sticky navigating around feels. Moving through affinity charts is just kind of annoying, and Xenoblade 3 showed us that there is a better way to handle these. I've also noticed that this is the only menu in the Blade series to not have the characters' 3D models present. Not really a complaint, it just sort of feels weird. I personally like seeing the immediate impact that my equipment selections have on my party. Like, if I put a new core chip on Florin's Bitball, it'd be cool to see that reflected on the character itself, instead of just watching a PNG be swapped out. By the way, I think it's inarguable that Xenoblade 2's map and compass are probably the worst in the entire series. Like, honestly, what were they thinking here? Where am I going? The easy solution here is to just add a follow ball-esque mechanic. That never fails. Except when it does, but it's still better than what we have now. Yeah, the map just sucks. I will always say that 1 has the best map in the series, and since then, it's only been downhill. 3 definitely made some improvements, but I really miss being able to shift through verticality just by pressing the shoulder buttons. There's too much scrolling in 2's menu, and even when you think you're done scrolling, it's hard to tell if you selected the right option or not, because the map is only given like a third of the screen space. Guys, I promise I love this game, but this menu is so frustrating to navigate. I don't really think the art style of 2 is bad. I think it's fine. It's more stylized than the other games, but the issue is that 1, X, and 3 now all have a very similar aesthetic, and 2 stands out way more because of it. I don't think there needs to be a drastic change either. Similar to the transition between X and its definitive edition, I think some small tweaks are all that we need. Yeah, not much to say about this one. Some people have gone as far to say that the entire game needs to be redubbed, and no, it's mostly fine. Some lines are really stilted and odd, but others sound so good I could never imagine them any other way. I personally think it's part of the game's charm. Besides, a number of the VAs have sadly passed away, and others have moved on from acting. I wouldn't want to recast, so I think that things should be left alone on that front. What's more important is fixing the English lip sync. good lord, sometimes this is so distracting. I know every once in a while one will have some weird mouth movement, but there's an issue in almost every cutscene in 2. Come on. This is editing XenoBits here, and I just want to say, when trying to find footage for this section, I randomly clicked on a cutscene, and this was the first thing that I saw.
Feels so good to rest in a proper inn after a long voyage.
Yeah, it's good to be on familiar shores again.
XDE did it, so you know that 2 has to do it as well. Why do games do this so much? Pokemon is the worst offender. What is so bad about giving people extra save slots? Is it really that big of an ask? Yeah, I know previously it was a storage issue, but in the era where games take up to 150 gigabytes of data, it's not really an excuse anymore. I don't know, I'm not a developer, so I can't say why decisions like this are made, but it needs to stop. And that's everything I could come up with. Of course, if we ever do get a Xenoblade 2 Definitive Edition, I don't expect that we'd get everything on this list. A guy can dream, though. What improvements would you guys want in 2DE, though? Did I miss something glaringly obvious, or do you think I'm wrong and all of these are really super nitpicky complaints? Be sure to leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it, subscribe so you can get notified when I upload new videos. Like I said, we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and I'd really appreciate it if you guys could contribute to that. And before we go, I just want to thank my channel members, my Legendary Blade members to play in Polygloom, my Rare Blade member Afloat Sign, and my Common Blade member Jim Jam. You guys are rock stars. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support, and I will see all of you in the next one. Bye.